when I was in teacher training, they kept telling us, some of our mentors kept telling us that we should teach English, teach the language, and when controversial issues come up, avoid those, because that's problem, and you don't want problems. And that's something that's very difficult. I would say even it's impossible to avoid. Even if you are a teacher who is very conservative and you have very conservative values, when you teach that way, that's a kind of attitude or model that you transfer to the students. So if you are being very apolitical, that's in a way, for example, a very sharp statement about what the students should be like, what their general attitude to life should be. And there is this myth of, or even expectation sometimes, even today, funnily in Hungary, in schools, that teaching cannot be political. And they always argue that teaching should be political. Because, for example, I teach in a state school, teenagers, and I think the school is really the only safe space where teenagers can engage with controversial topics, because as soon as they leave the school system, then now they are at risk. They risk losing friends, family members, alienating colleagues, bosses by engaging with these issues, so they conform. But in school, if you create a low risk environment for them to engage, then they can explore these topics themselves. So for me, that's also a kind of teacher activism. On the other hand, as Linda mentioned, I'm an openly gay teacher in a school, which in itself is a form of activism. So I don't really have to do anything. And now I'm suddenly projecting values of acceptance, because that's what we should do. And many of my colleagues in the past think that I should not advertise this. Why do I tell this to the students? And that's the reason, because I'm a teaching material, ready-made.